This is Mike Agruss at Agruss Law Firm. I'm a consumer rights attorney, personal injury attorney. I handle personal injury cases in Illinois. Primarily, I handle consumer rights cases all throughout the country. My consumer rights practice helps people with debt collection harassment, robocalls, credit report problems, deceptive business practices. Today, we are here with Julie Davis, who is someone who reached out to me a couple months ago about a medical debt that she had. So Julie, if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Absolutely. My name is Julie Davis. I'm a mom of 4 children, 6, 8, 10, and 12, and a wife of 18 years. And kind of found myself in a situation to where a number of years back, I had an emergency gallbladder surgery after suffering with my gallbladder for several years and trying to remedy it myself. I couldn't do it any longer. And so I ended up in the emergency room and was a little nervous because I had not had any insurance. And so I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to pay for it, but they assured me that, there was some assistance available to me and I could apply for that. So I got through the surgery and thought everything was good. I was approved for their charity care case. And at that point, everything was good on my end that I knew of. And about 4 years later, I received out of nowhere a judgment and was quite shocked. Again, I thought everything was taken care of because I had gotten that charity care letter and I was told I was 100% approved. And so getting that was a little shocking. And so that's kind of my story today. I just, I'm looking for any help available to kind of get us through this. Again, it was out of the blue.
And why didn't you have insurance at the time?
Well, we had started a new business helping diabetics who they couldn't afford their diabetic supplies. So we were able to get them at reduced costs and provide it to them so they can do their testing. And so we were new entrepreneurs, and therefore we didn't have any insurance, couldn't afford it ourselves even.
So you're living in Wyoming, you have the procedure done, you notify the hospital that you don't have health insurance, you're concerned. This could obviously bankrupt you. And then they said they had a charity care program that you applied for and got approved, right?
That's right. They approved us right away for 100% due to our situation and told us if there was any bills that had come in, just to send our charity care letter to anyone receiving those. And that's exactly what we did. We followed all of those instructions.
So you followed up with all the providers, the hospital, the surgical center, the anesthesiologist, you sent them the charity care letter. You don't hear anything, and then you and your family move from Wyoming to Kentucky, right?
That's right. We
Okay.
moved about the end part of that year and didn't hear anything from that point on either. So nothing from whenever those initial bills came in and we sent the charity care letter, informing everybody and saying, if you have any questions or if, there's a problem, let us know. Hadn't heard anything until that day. Just in, a few months ago when we received the summons.
Correct. And you had mentioned at the beginning a judgment, but this was actually a summons and a lawsuit. You were being sued by a law firm or an attorney. The attorney represents Rocky Mountain Recovery, which is the collection agency collecting this debt. And what you and I actually both learned a couple of months ago in Wyoming, the interest rate is pretty high on medical debt, and it's been accruing since 2016.
Correct. And, if I had known, I actually have several friends who went through kind of the cancer stage and they didn't have insurance either. And what they did was they made arrangements with the doctor to make payments and such. And honestly, had I known this was outstanding and that charity care for some reason didn't pay for it, I would have at that time just called the doctor and said, can I pay, a little bit here, a little bit there until I pay it off. But I didn't know any of that. And so receiving this bill later with thousands of dollars worth of interest that I didn't even know was accruing was a bit shocking to me.
Right. So I think from the lawsuit that I reviewed, it looked like the original debt was about $7,600. And now you actually owe over $10,000, and you've reached out to the attorney and the collection agency offering 4,000, 5,000. I think your last offer to them was even 9,500. And now you're in a spot where they're refusing to negotiate anything. And in a couple of weeks, you're facing judgment entered against you for over $11,000.
That's right. Unfortunately, because of the high interest rate, it seems to just keep spinning more and more out of control. And every time we try to offer something, even though I didn't know this was even outstanding and I would have, done something at that time, it's not stopping any interest. It's not stopping any of those things.
I've never done this before for someone who's reached out to me. We've set up a GoFundMe page for you. And I'm really trying to help you out here because I know, although the debt is $11,000, if you actually paid every penny of it, that would wipe out your savings, right?
Absolutely. Any savings that we saved up, we actually have an issue that we saved that money up for, that we need to use money for, and so any money that we saved up would be wiped out, and it would definitely be hard for us.
Right. So the GoFundMe, what I had suggested in the GoFundMe page is it looks like you over just over $11,000, and we're looking for people to help you out. A bunch of people to donate a small amount of money to help you pay half of the medical debt, which would be about $5,500. And then, I know it's going to be tough to stomach, but you and your husband are coming up with the other half. So we're looking for people to contribute $5,500. We just started the GoFundMe page a couple of days ago. It's just getting some traction. And then you and your husband will chip in the other $5,500, and hopefully we can get this settled before you have a judgment. Once there's a judgment, that goes on your credit report. It affects your credit report. And, we're just trying to help you out before all that happens.
Well, I certainly appreciate it, and any help, at this point that can be provided, we're just really grateful. That's really all I can say is we're grateful for anything that that can be given as far as help.